Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie. Hey guys, it's Angel from the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and today we are going a little bit further into this idea of self-directed retirement accounts, and I'm super excited to have Dmitriy with us, and he is very, very, very knowledgeable. He's been on, he's invested in real estate. He's done the more traditional methods with stocks and bonds and all of those items. So he's sat on both sides of the fence as far as like doing traditional, doing real estate, self-directed IRAs. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the solo 401k, and we're going to compare and contrast some of that. And he's also done like single family homes, and he's done fix and flips, and now he's like into syndication with a big multifamily, and seriously just experience all over the place. So super, super excited. He is also the founder and president of Sense Financial Services, and it's a little boutique financial firm. Well, I say little, it's a boutique financial firm specializing in the self-directed retirement accounts. And with those, you get that checkbook control. So you actually have access to your funds and you can do what you want with them. So that's a really, really awesome thing. He has lots of different investment properties across various states. And he's also a California real estate broker. So he's seriously all across the board when it comes to doing the investments and getting those real estate things covered. And I'm just blown away. I mean, you've done so much and you've got so many things going on, and that is just wow. I'm really excited to hear some of what you have to share with us today.
Well, Angel, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on the show and talk about my experience and hopefully help some of your listeners learn a few things and most importantly apply them in their lives and their investments.
Absolutely. And I love the way you say that, because I think so many of us, we get into that, what is it, analysis paralysis, where we keep trying to learn more and more and more and more, and we don't take action. And so the application of what you're going to share is going to be incredibly important for people who want to see a steadier level of growth or even maintenance, because those are some of the things that we've enjoyed in real estate. Is not so much that it's not recession proof, but it's incredibly recession resistant. And we like the fact that it's really maintained its value. We've had some go up during all of this craziness right now, but it's been really nice to just maintain it too. So while other things are losing value, real estate tends to hold its value a little bit better. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so I was looking through your bio and looking through your web page, and it says, that you basically created this idea of using the self-directed IRA for some friends and fellow investors that weren't seeing like very good performance with what they were currently invested in. And so you created your company. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. So let's, to help you and your listeners understand that, let me take you a little bit back, just a few steps back so you can understand my background. As you can hear from my accent, I'm not from here. I'm not a native. I wasn't born here. I actually immigrated in this beautiful country from Russia back in 1996. So actually tomorrow, today is the 14th, tomorrow, October 15th, will be my 24th anniversary that I came in this country.
Oh, wow.
So I spent more than half of my life here. This is my country. I didn't keep my Russian citizenship, but both me and my wife, we got naturalized a year after we got married in 2002. Nice. But my background is in electromechanical engineering. That's what I went to school for. And then when I moved in this country, I went to college and took some additional classes and got my degree translated in English, which was equivalent to BS in electromechanical engineering. And so I did work in the field for a few years. And then basically in 2001 or two, I think, actually, no, about year 2000, that's when I was introduced to idea of real estate investing. A friend from college invited me to one of the local meetups or investment meetings. And actually it took me a couple of years to be able to buy my first property. So in 2001, I purchased a residence, again, as a result of attending that investor meeting. And then in 2002, purchased a first investment property. And those two properties, they were really the foundation in my real estate investment career, so to speak. It was a great time, and both of these properties, they more than doubled in value in just about four or 5 years, maybe.
Oh, nice.
It was a great time, 2001, 2002. So I pulled some of the equity and started buying new homes outside of California. And then actually in 2002, I got laid off from my engineering position, and that forced me to look for something else. And I ended up being recruited working for a financial services company. So I was just doing a normal financial planning with the stocks and mutual funds, mainly mutual funds, retirement planning, college planning, debt elimination, and so forth. And so I was doing basically this in parallel. I was doing financial planning for my clients, and while I was investing in real estate. So I could compare both. And basically what I came to realize, again, as I said, my first two investments more than doubled in value in just about 4 or 5 years. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but it just gives you the flavor how real estate investment, how powerful can that be?
Oh, absolutely.
And so basically in about 2004, I think that's when I basically went to work full-time with a local real estate investment firm. So I transitioned from financial planning into being full-time in real estate. And fast forward to 2007, I believe. No, maybe 2008, 2009, I think, when the market already kind of, crashed, and we were working, helping our investors. And what we found is that most people, they had, they basically damaged their credit because maybe they lost some of the properties because of the market correction. And many could not qualify for conventional financing, just continue to buy the investments in their name, but they had money in a retirement account. And so our company worked with several self-directed companies, and none of them we were able to work long-term. None of them actually lasted because, one reason or another, mainly the quality of the service. And given my experience in financial services and being a real estate investor, that experience, I was actually given a task in about 2009, I believe, working at the company that to start a department, help our clients with the self-directed IRAs. So I did that for about a year. I put the foundation together. And then in 2010, I decided to branch out and go on my own. So that's when I started Sense Financial. And what we do now is a sole purpose of our company is to help people obtain checkbook control over their retirement accounts. So we do IRAs and solo 401k. So we'll, I guess, dive into that a little bit later. So that's kind of my background, and so that you understand why I'm here and how I happen to be here.
Well, I mean, honestly, so my husband's an engineer too, and I imagine that maybe it's the numbers that kind of drew you into it.
Yeah, the numbers, I can tell you this, that having an engineering background, I've worked as a manufacturing engineer for a company, my last job that I had working as an engineer for a manufacturing company. So I was responsible for two production departments, for two manufacturing departments. And it was challenging. It wasn't fun, most of the time, because I had to deal with those problems on the production floor. I mean, you're talking about the assembly line and something is broken and I have to fix that. So I remember many times coming home from work, and still those problems kind of came with me, and I was just thinking about them, in the evening, and even, falling asleep with those problems, because I knew tomorrow I'm going to have to wake up and go and continue fixing those problems.
Wow.
So maybe it wasn't as much of a fun, but it was a great experience for me because, having that engineering background helped me develop processes and systems that I was able to implement here now. So it was definitely, just looking back, everything was for a reason, and being in financial services, dealing with just the conventional retirement accounts, again, there was a reason for that. So all of that I was able to apply, creating processes to help our clients here at Sense Financial.
Wow, that's really awesome. One of the other things I saw was where, the ideas behind your company are biblically based. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. Actually, that's the reason I'm here in this country, because my parents and my grandparents were persecuted for their faith, for their Christian faith back in the days. And we came in this country as refugees for the religion persecution. So I came with my parents. I was still, I was 22 when I came. I got married here in this country. And my grandfather actually was thrown in prison for holding a Bible study in his house. And my father was kicked out of the medical school when he was in his early 20s for his faith. I didn't personally experience that, but my parents and grandparents did. So that's how we came here. So I grew up in a Christian home. And for me personally, Bible is the book that I live by, okay? And Bible has a lot of wisdom for life in general. But talking about financial planning and investments, Bible has a lot of wisdom when it comes to personal financial planning and investing. So those are the principles that I'm trying to apply, helping my clients, because again, there is a lot of wisdom in those principles that are proven for centuries and actually, millenniums. If you apply those principles in your, financial life, I'm not going to preach you on other stuff here. That's not the reason we're here. But talking about the, investing and financial principles, if you apply those principles, generally speaking, you will be successful financially. If you violate those principles, you will again, likewise, you will see failures in your life. Give you one example. In Proverbs, it says the planning and hard work leads to prosperity. Okay, so if you plan and if you work hard, you can accomplish something. You can see the result. And I'm a proof of that. Okay, coming from another country with nothing and being able to achieve a financial independence and build a successful company, you can do that. And the second part of that proverb says, hasty speculation leads to poverty. So if you're going to speculate, you probably will lose most of it. So, and real estate is actually one of the, great examples for that. And actually, I'm guilty of that myself. I told you I started buying, my first two properties were 2001, 2002, and I experienced that. And then I kind of dive in, more. And I did listen to some not very good advice too. And so basically, I over leveraged. And looking back, I see that greed was driving me. I wanted to get more quicker. And that resulted in not so good. I ended up losing several properties and, basically had to start building all over. But again, if you apply those principles, and I obviously learn from my lessons, but the key is that your listeners will learn from my mistakes and from other people's mistakes, and don't repeat that. You don't have to make your own mistakes to be successful. Learn from other people's mistakes. And talking about just building wealth, build wealth slowly. You can do it. If you want to try build quick, you need to understand the difference between investing and speculation. So that's, I guess, what this verse is talking about.
Yeah, so just thinking about it from that perspective, I would think that it would make someone want to invest more in something more solid like real estate, because that isn't nearly as speculative as investing in stocks. Because I feel like that's pretty speculative. And then just in stocks, sometimes it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think something's going to go up in value, it usually will. If you think a company's about to lose value, then it usually will, because the players make it kind of happen with that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I can expand on that too, if you'd like, is, talking about investing in the stock market is, if you buy in stocks, then yes, there's a great volatility there. Because Angel, here is the fact: you and I, and probably all of your listeners, so none of us, we can control the stock market. None of us can control what's going to happen with the stock market after the election, right? Well, none of us knew what will happen in February of this year when the pandemic hit. Now, I watched the news, so there has been a few senators who had inside information and they pulled out of the stock market, which, that's kind of an illegal thing. But again, most of us or all of us, we don't have access to that kind of inside information. Yeah. So, and looking at the back in 2007, 2008, I had clients who lost half of their portfolio overnight, pretty much. Half of the portfolio. I mean, think about this. You save all your life, you invest, and then, overnight you lose half of that. Well, if you lose 50%, some people say or think that you just need to gain 50%, but that's not true. If you lost 50%, then your investment must double in value for you just to go back. So you actually have to make 100%. So it's going to be very difficult to recover from that. Now, for me, I don't have much in the market. Majority of my investments is an alternative. Real estate, syndications, private lending, and few rentals I still have. So, but little that I have in the market, I had about 30% drop, about 30% in my portfolio, and it's not stocks, by the way. It's only mutual funds, because stocks probably will be much worse. Now, look at it.
Not a small amount. I mean, that's
30% is significant, right? But comparing that with the rest of my portfolio, I had almost no changes there. I had notes. I had maybe a couple of payments were late, and my syndications were not affected at all. Now, it took probably about maybe 5-6 months for what I had invested in mutual funds for it to come back. So I basically regained, and I made more. But this is very unusual. And I think the only reason this happened is because of the President Trump policies. He's a businessman. And so because of some of the things that he did, the stock market recovered quickly. Now, if you go back in history, never did that happen before, ever. it takes a lot longer for the stock market to recover. So don't plan for that in the future. If you have that drop in the market that you're going to recover in just a few months, it's going to be very unlikely in the future.